President Barack Obama secured his second term in the White House today by becoming the 45th President of the United States of America. Now, News First has been covering the presidential race through our special correspondents based in the United States and from right here in Colombo over the past few months. Now, News First Mahina Bongsa, who was in the United States recently covering the presidential race, now joins us for an analysis of the election. Good afternoon, Mahina.
Good afternoon, Shine. Well, it was a closely fought race. I mean, up until today, people were really undecided about who was going to win, because the two candidates, that's President Barack Obama and Republican Governor Mitt Romney, had a close battle. I mean, everyone was focusing a lot of attention on the debates. The two candidates came under a lot of attention in the media, and when Ramesh and I were in the United States covering the campaign trail, we could see a lot of attention focused on the two candidates and how they're going to win this close battle, because the battle was so close right from the start. Now, Obama claimed 303 votes, while Romney claimed 206 votes. That gave Obama the upper hand over Romney, and obviously he surpassed the 270 vote threshold that is the president has to acquire in the Electoral College to win the presidential election. So Obama secured 303 votes, and that was after he secured the battleground state of Ohio. Now, when we were talking about the elections, Shaheen, one of the major issues that we were really talking about, or the focus points that we were actually having a lot of attention on, was the battleground states. Now, this battleground states proved to be the most important and the vital element in the presidential election, and Ohio was one of these battleground states, because both candidates were campaigning extensively in Ohio. We saw actually on Monday how both candidates finished their leg in Ohio. They finished their campaigning in Ohio because they knew Ohio had the most number of votes. It had 18 electoral votes coming out from Ohio, which is 22%. So both candidates campaigned really hard in Ohio, and finally it was Obama who came out on top in Ohio, which sealed his victory and his re-election as the President of the United States. Now, some of the other states that Obama did win was Virginia, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Iowa, Nevada, and Colorado. California, New York was anyway a Democratic state, Michigan and Massachusetts. Now, those two states were really important states for Mitt Romney, and that was mainly because Romney's birthplace, or the birth state, was Michigan, and incidentally he was the former governor of Massachusetts. However, Obama came out and won these two states. Romney won North Carolina, Indiana, Idaho, Montana, Texas. A lot of votes coming in for Romney from Texas, Wyoming, Tennessee, Alabama, Kansas, Arizona, and Kentucky. Republicans, if you talk about the House of Representatives, Republicans are projected to keep control of the House, but the Democrats are tipped to have control of the Senate. Now, the U.S. democratic process and the election process is a bit complicated to anyone who is not very familiar with these terms such as electoral colleges and all of that. But giving you a simple sort of description of what really takes place, what is this 270 votes that each candidate has to win in order to become president? Well, each state, Shaheen, is given a number of electoral votes, and that is in rough proportion to the population in that state. So the candidate who wins 270 votes, and it's the winner takes it all sort of scenario, that's actually the candidate who becomes the president. Now, in 2008, we saw Barack Obama defeating John McCain from the Republican Party to become the first African American president, and he has created history once again, and this is mainly because he's the first Democrat to have won a second term in office after Bill Clinton in 1996. So it's really a huge victory for Barack Obama, and this election was billed as the most expensive election in US history, with nearly $2 billion being spent on, on the race and on campaigning activities. And when we were in, as I said, the United States, we came back on Sunday, and up until then there was a lot of campaigning done by these two candidates, and especially a lot of television advertisements, a lot of radio advertisements, with both candidates really going, head to head. Both candidates not really afraid to hit out at one another. And also the debates were a huge sort of focus point as well, because that's the main forum where the two candidates can come out and really address certain issues that are really vital to the people. So after all, after nearly 2 years of actually, campaigning and coming out with campaign slogans and really talking to the people. Barack Obama has finally been re-elected as President of the United States, and that's the bottom line. That's the final sort of full stop that finishes this 2012 US presidential election, which has really caught the attention of the world, because I mean, now the president will have to look at unemployment, they will have to look at foreign policy, dealing with countries like China, dealing with countries like Iran and its nuclear ambition, and several other issues. So we'll have to wait and see how Barack Obama is going to face the next 4 years in office, Rahim.
Yep.
And also, after losing this election, that's Governor Mitt Romney, the Republican candidate, former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, had this to say to his supporters at his party headquarters in Boston. Let's take a look.
I have just called President Obama to congratulate him on his victory. His supporters and his campaign also deserve congratulations. I wish all of them well, but particularly the President, the First Lady, and their daughters. This is a time of great challenges for America, and I pray that the President will be successful in guiding our nation. I want to thank Paul Ryan for all that he has done for our campaign. And for our country. Besides my wife Ann, Paul is the best choice I've ever made. And I trust that his intellect and his hard work and his commitment to principle will continue to contribute to the good of our nation. I also want to thank Ann, the love of my life. She would have been a wonderful First Lady. She has been that and more to me and to our family and to the many people that she has touched with her compassion and her care. I thank my sons for their tireless work in behalf of the campaign, and thank their wives and children for taking up the slack as their husbands and dads have spent so many weeks away from home.
Now, securing his second term in office, the 45th President of the United States, President Barack Obama, addressed his supporters a short while ago in Chicago.
Tonight, more than 200 years after a former colony won the right to determine its own destiny, the task of perfecting our union moves forward. It moves forward because of you. It moves forward because you reaffirmed the spirit that has triumphed over war and depression, the spirit that has lifted this country from the depths of despair to the great heights of hope, the belief that while each of us will pursue our own individual dreams, we are an American family and we rise or fall together as one nation and as one people. Tonight, in this election, you, the American people, reminded us that while our road has been hard, while our journey has been long, we have picked ourselves up. We have fought our way back. And we know in our hearts that for the United States of America, the best is yet to come.